Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of CJ Works. We are here today with Jude Jennison and Chloe, who are from Leaders by Nature, and they're going to be showing us how you can use horses to learn more about yourself and your leadership style. Now, I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. We've just had a briefing inside about all the health and safety risks. I'm a little bit afraid. Not gonna lie to you, especially of the two grey ones who I've been told bite people. So hopefully I don't get bitten. Probably be good for you guys to see me get bitten, but I don't want that personally. So without further ado, I'm really looking forward to this episode and let's get it. Let's go job hunting. So man, it's quite uncomfortable, but sometimes you've got to plough through the uncomfort. And I almost feel like I'm not really getting anywhere as well. Because the more you look down, the more you actually see. And so I feel like I'm going to be out here all morning. I was going to go gym today as well, and I'm glad I didn't. Get my workout in. Very tiring. I was joking around inside before I came out saying how, you know, I'm gonna try and play to the camera, but no, I'm genuinely tired right now. But the show must go on, and you know, I don't know. I kind of get a sense that some of the horses don't like me, but then this Mr. Blue, he's stuck around. He tried to pick up the what do you call that? Rake. He tried to pick up the rake, so I think we've got something. And yeah, he reminds me a little bit of myself. Wants to get involved, wants to see what's going on, likes to eat plenty of food. And yeah, I think we've done a good job here. How long we've been out here?
A half hour?
Half an hour, yeah. So I think yeah, we've cleared this bit, and now I'm getting ready to just going to get my breath back, and then we're going to go out there and do a bit of coaching. In my mind, I feel like me and Mr. Blue have a bit of synergy. I think he understands me. We're going to be doing a little bit of leadership now, so I'm going to try and lead him in, and I'm hoping that I'm reading this right. In the past I've read situations wrong, but I think I'm reading this one correctly. She said ears back. That means he's feeling a bit more comfortable. Ears forward. I didn't know what that meant, but his ears are back, and that's all I'm really concerned about. So we're going to try and lead Mr. Blue in. We're doing this. Come on then, let's go. Mr. Blue, you're letting me down. I was singing your praises. Yeah, I was singing your praises. I was saying we've got synergy. We're going to work together. You were trying to help me, so let's go on then. All the way to my end of the lead. Let's try that. That's it. You see, sometimes you just gotta. Okay.
And then if you take him down into the yard.
You see, I knew Mr. Blue liked me. Thanks, Mr. Blue, because I would have looked really, really silly then if you didn't come with me. We've got to stay on the left, stay on the right. Okay. Mr. Blue, I love you. How are you feeling today? Okay, and then we're going to stop here. All right, we're just going to stop here, Mr. Blue.
So if you do it with love and care, they like it. If you do it as a task, then they don't.
Okay.
It's a bit like with kids.
Yeah.
When I was working at IBM, I was sent on a coaching for managers course, and it was one of the things that they were encouraging all managers to do. And I went on it and loved it. And then I went back and did the advanced version. And then I thought, I'd love to do more of this. So I asked around, found an external course that I went on that was an 18-month certification process, trained as a coach, and that was back in 2008. And I coached people alongside my day job just for fun, just because I was curious and just because I enjoyed it. And what I realised was that actually when you work in a large organisation, it's tough, and often people don't get a sounding board, or they don't have anybody to really listen to them. And so I found that I was supporting people alongside my day job. And then I left IBM in 2010 to set up a leadership and coaching business with no intention of working with horses. In fact, I was frightened of horses. And I thought, I don't want to be frightened of anything, I'll just overcome my fear of horses. And in the process, I learned so much about how do I stay in relationship with someone or something that I find intimidating. So whether that's 600 kilograms of horse trying to push me around, or whether that's somebody in a boardroom banging their fist on the table, swearing at me, which I've also had, whichever it is, I can find that intimidating, as we can all be intimidated. And normally when we're intimidated, we tend to have two responses. Either we engage in a fight and we clash, or we disconnect and disengage, and then we break the relationship. And what I learned in the first session with the horses was to stay in relationship with them when they were trying to push me around, and to recognise that if I have respect for my own opinion and respect for them and their opinion, even if we're poles apart and we have completely different opinions, I can stay and be curious, but not lose sight of what my needs are as well. So it was about meeting their needs and my needs. And I think that's truly what relationships are all about.
You're tired now?
No, they yawn to release tension.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if you're feeling a bit tense.
Okay.
Are you feeling a bit tense?
Maybe, yeah.
So just take a breath from here, from your diaphragm, and just really relax. He likes to play, so in order to get him engaged, you might need to now raise your energy and go, "Ooh, come on, let's have a bit of fun."
Come on then, let's have a bit of fun, Mr. Blue. Energy, energy, energy. There we go, there we go. That is the question, whether it is nobler in the mind. I don't know the rest. See, instead of the treadmill, we could just do this, couldn't we? Let's go for a little walk. There we go. Little trot. So you just wanted some energy, didn't you? I got you slowing down. I got you slowing down over there, brushing you, and then you wanted to come out here and play. I thought you wanted to chill. I thought you wanted to relax. That's why I came with that kind of energy, but if I knew you wanted to play, I would have done that all along. I think it was very much the same for me, you know, going through these different careers that I had. I developed quite a lot, and I think sometimes the leadership couldn't kind of go on that journey with me and didn't kind of find a path for me to go on within that institution. So that's how I knew it was probably my time to leave. And so very much from this, I'm just realising that, you know, how we started over there, I had a perception of Mr. Blue. You know, I had a perception that he was just going to come along with me anyway, but the reality was I led him to that point, you know, delivered, I had to learn. And then when I came in here, it was a completely different environment, and I can't just use the same approach that I used over there. I had to do something different. And when you coached me to say, well, this is how he is, he likes to have fun, particularly when he's in this environment, you know, that's yeah, try a little bit of that, and that worked. But I was able to quickly adapt to that.
What I saw was huge flexibility. It was every time he wasn't coming, or every time he was resisting, you changed your approach. Are you aware that you do that at work?
No, I'm not that aware of that, actually.
Because that's a huge strength of yours.
You know, I'm really happy to hear that. And it's probably something that I should definitely go away and reflect on. I definitely didn't know that. And that's something I've definitely learnt today, you know.
One of the things I noticed about CJ is he has a very natural leadership style. He's effortless in the way that he leads. Mr. Blue followed him down into the stables very easily. He completely relaxed as CJ was grooming him. What was interesting was that when CJ started leading Mr. Blue in the arena, he continued with the same effortless, laid-back, very calm, gentle leadership. And what CJ didn't realise was that Mr. Blue is an energetic horse and he loves to play, he loves to muck about and be silly. And once CJ realised that, he just brought, suddenly, it was like flipping a switch for Mr. Blue. He went from calm, quiet, with his eyes shut, to suddenly like, woohoo, and off he went. And it was fantastic to see Mr. Blue literally like flipping a switch. And it's rare to see him switch that quickly, because once Mr. Blue switches off, it's actually quite difficult to get him going again. So CJ did a fantastic job of just flipping that energy.
So we're going to have a nice coaching session now. So I'm going to be delivering a coaching session with Jude. So a lot of the work she would do is typically going to be with the clients that she has that come here, and she would then have them in this area here to deliver a session with them. So I'm going to try and do that now with Jude. So we probably won't record the audio just in case things are disclosed, but it would be great experience for me to be able to deliver that. So really looking forward to it. We've just had a coaching session. I tried my best. I've never done a coaching session before. So what are the benefits of doing a coaching session around horses? What did you find when you came in here?
I think the first thing is that in the presence of horses, we start to de-stress. So I felt my heart rate was slowing down, my breathing slowed down, and you know, normally we're working at 300 miles an hour, aren't we? Yeah. And it's so difficult to be creative when we're not present. So the first thing that happens in the presence of horses, quite naturally, is people go, oh, and take a breath, which is just profound, but we don't do it enough.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And then from that place, we then get more clarity, because once you slow down your breathing, the ideas come, the creativity comes, the clarity comes. So that happens. I think the other thing that's interesting when working with the horses is that they're always responding to the conversation that we're having. And part of the challenge as a coach is to continually pay attention to that as well as the coaching client.
Yeah.
It's not just the words that the client's saying, but it's what's going on. Because I think at one point I noticed that they were all moving suddenly, and I talked about that movement is effortless and flowing. It's not always poof, 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 poof. And so it's about really shifting attention to how do we create movement in business that is much more flowing and much more in harmony. So that for me is that blend of slowing down, breathing, and taking time to reflect.
My plan for Leaders by Nature is to buy a farm in the next 12 months and expand the level of services and offerings that I'm providing. So I want to be able to work with disadvantaged groups. The majority of my work at the moment is with corporate leaders and teams. I want to work with more disadvantaged groups. I want to bring groups of people out to work with the horses that may not normally work with horses, that wouldn't normally have that opportunity. Because I think there's so much that we can learn and also reduce our stress levels. The pandemic has left everybody with a pretty high stress level, much higher than it was before. And one of the things that happens around the horses is people do recharge and de-stress, and I think that's really important. I want to be able to do more of that. My hope is that you can showcase the variety of different roles and businesses that exist out there. I know that when I was 9 and I said to my parents that I wanted to work with horses, they told me to get a proper job, whatever that is. And so I got a proper job working for IBM for 17 years. And yes, I loved it. But it wasn't until I was in my early 40s that I came back to really the work that I feel like I was born to do, which is to work with horses. And not in an ordinary environment. Most people, when they work with horses, they think of riding horses or being a riding instructor. So this wasn't a job that was described by a careers advisor. And I think many of the best jobs, people don't know what they are. So my hope is that with this project, you can showcase a completely different stance on what it is to do work that you love.
So I'm doing a social media post at the moment. I thought it would be good to gather my thoughts and reflections, or repeat a little bit of them anyway, and just put them down on paper. And because I think a lot of this work is very much going to be about client testimonial, but also people seeing and reading what's actually been done before and how people have responded to it. So I felt I'd put my reflections down, and maybe this could be turned into a social media post of some sort. But I think for me, I just really wanted to get my kind of testimonial out. It could be a lot longer because we did so much today. But I think this is what I'm kind of thinking. So if this was a social media post for LinkedIn, and again, feel free to use this. You can use it if you want to. So I've put, at Leaders by Nature, we let our horses do the talking. They will help you and your team to discover new approaches to lead and manage change effectively. Here's a testimonial from one of our recent clients, CJ Lloyd Webley. I feel an overwhelming sense of pride, but I have discovered the kind of leader I truly am. Admittedly, I had absolutely no clue of what to expect prior to attending my workshop with Jude and the Leaders by Nature team. I did, however, think that because I'd done horse riding about a decade ago, I had somewhat of a foundation to work from. Oh, how wrong I was. This experience was completely different. I arrived with a completely open mind, and as a result, I can honestly say I am not the same person I was before I came. I learnt that horses are intuitive beings, so they will pick up on the energy they feel from you. I had a wonderful experience grooming one of the horses called Mr. Blue, who in the first instance I felt responded well to my leadership style. I was then asked to lead Mr. Blue into a different environment which I felt less comfortable with, and so the horse felt less comfortable around me too. Jude helped me to identify the problem, but also find a solution. I understood that what Mr. Blue wanted for me was to be more playful and energetic, to which I adopted a whole new approach, and I learnt that sometimes that's the version of me that some people will need. This was just CJ's experience, but everyone walks away with something different. So that's the post I've put, and you can put something at the end of it as well, which can help to tie it together and get you some more clients, because I think, I think everybody should come here. It's true. It's so true. Everybody needs to get their butts here. Everyone should come here. Yeah. It's true. And I grew up on a council estate in Birmingham, in Erdington. It's no longer there anymore. It's actually been, the word they use is gentrified, isn't it? But when I go back there and I don't see the surroundings that I grew up in, it's almost like a piece of history has been removed from you. But when I come here, this is an experience that I'll never forget. So anytime I see another horse, I will see them differently now. Even that experience when I was younger and I was horse riding, when I think back to it now, I will think, how was that horse feeling when I fell off? Were they afraid that I fell off them? Were they afraid that I was on the ground and they were, you know, weren't being led, or things were a little bit uncomfortable for them. So I think about all those situations a little bit differently now, and as a result of just this one day I've spent here. And so not just the thing about working with the horses, but it's about getting out of your comfort zone and doing something different, because you never know what the possibilities, you never know what can come from that. And so that's it for this week. It's been an amazing experience, and until next time, let's go job hunting.